Namaskar, I am Dr. Keshav Chandra Mondal. I am a researcher of political science. I have been doing research for the last 25 years. Mainly my concern is the development of India as a whole and particularly of West Bengal. You see, our finance minister, Mr. Swapan Dasgupta, has very recently, after taking charge of the office of the Department of Finance, he said that West Bengal needs Marshall Plan. Why did he say this? What is Marshall Plan and why it is necessary at this juncture? I would like to say about these few things with you. You all know, those who are the students of political science and international relations are particularly aware that Truman was the president of the United States of America, and after the Second World War, the United Nations was formed on 24 October 1945. Okay, so after that, the entire world has been divided into two blocks. One block was dominated by the United States of America, and the other block was dominated by Soviet Union. So Truman thought that if United States of America wants to keep on its hegemony on the Europe, on entire Europe and the world, he needs to contain communism, because Soviet Russia was trying to spread communism in Europe. On the other hand, Europe and other parts of the world. On the other hand, United States of America was in the view that they will contain communism. Okay, in this background, Truman Doctrine and Marshall Plan were the mainly two important pillars of US Cold War strategy. You know that it was announced in 1947. Both policies aimed to contain the global spread of communism. The Truman Doctrine provided immediate military and political aid to threatened nations, while the Marshall Plan offered massive economic assistance to rebuild war-torn Europe. Who were the main beneficiaries of Marshall Plan? Marshall Plan, before that, let me say what is Marshall Plan. Actually, if you see, you will find that Marshall Plan and Truman policy were I told that two pillars in the post-Cold War scenario of the US policy. Okay, in 1946, when Winston Churchill, the British Prime Minister, came to USA, he said that there has been an iron curtain in the continent, particularly in the European nations. Europe was divided between two blocks. One was divided, one was the democratic democratic western part, and the other part was eastern bloc of Europe. Okay, so the western part was the capitalist countries mainly, while the eastern part was mainly the poor countries, okay, or the communist countries. So he actually described, to quote Winston Churchill, we can say, quote, from Stettin in the Baltic to Trieste in the Adriatic, an iron curtain has descended across the continent, unquote. He said this in the USA in 1946. President Harry Truman was increasingly concerned that Soviet Union leader Joseph Stalin planned to spread communism to other countries in Europe. He believed in the domino theory. What is domino theory? The idea that communism would spread from country to country until it was stopped. And you see why Mr. Swapan Dasgupta said about Truman policy. He said it in this juncture because after, I will not say 70, I will not say 50 years, 35 years, 34 years of the CPIM rule and 15 years of misrule of the Mamata Banerjee government. I am not talking about the 50 years. Rather, I would say more 10 years till the end of rule of Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai. Dr. Bidhan Chandra Rai can be said the last architect of West Bengal's development. But after that, all the governments were not so good as Bidhan Chandra Rai's government. So, the government which has come in power in West Bengal is having too much majority, and the people have too much expectation on the government, and the economy is at a very shabby state. If you see, you will find that total debt of the state is nearly 8 lakh crore rupees. When the CPIM left, then it was 1.98 lakh crore. At that time also, I wrote in my books that, and in several articles, that amount 1.98 lakh crore was also a huge amount of debt. But the previous government or the Trinamool Congress government has done how much? They have borrowed nearly 6 lakh crores, 6 lakh crore rupees. So, what did Truman, President Truman, he wanted to contain communism in Europe, okay? And here Dr. Swapan Dasgupta thinks or considers that it needs containment of the aggression of communism and the Congress party. So both are harmful for the development of the country as a whole and the state in particular. So to contain communism and Congress parties, Congress and other allies in the alliance, he needs to revive the state. Once the state shared or exported 27% of total exports from West Bengal. West Bengal was the hub of industry. West Bengal was the hub of culture. West Bengal was at the zenith of education. But West Bengal had suffered a lot by the misruling of the particularly previous two governments. One led by the Left Front parties and the other was by Trinamool Congress. So these two parties have almost distracted, ruined the state. In this situation, he said, Mr. Swapan Dasgupta has said that Marshall Plan is required. Why? Because Marshall was the general of the US, okay, at that time, and military general, and he was the foreign secretary. And what he did between 1948 and 1953, the USA gave 16 Western European countries over $13 billion in aid. $13 billion aid. This is the main thing of Marshall Plan. Why? To rejuvenate its economy and to rejuvenate its industries. In exchange of that, United States of America expected that US will be allowed to invest in European market, and aid was provided mainly in cash, machinery, food and technological assistance. So, in today's price, in today's valuation of money, it is nearly $73 billion. It is nearly $73 billion. And who will pay? Mr. Swapan Dasgupta or the finance minister of West Bengal seeks this much amount from the Indian government. If Indian's finance minister waive the debt, then West Bengal can revive once again. Otherwise, I have another plan. I have a second plan. What is the second plan? Definitely the government will think about that, but the corruption which has been done by the Trinamool Congress government can be imposed penalty. I don't know how, but it can be, because they have spent the money for defending the criminals from the exchequer of the government. So why the government money, that is the people's money, should not be recovered from that party who was ruling the government? Because they have a huge fund of them in their party, about 2,000 crore rupees. So these money can be recovered as the party's existence is at stake. So what is the requirement of the money? So that amount of money mostly, and if they do not hand over the money to the present government, inquiry can be initiated, because that money, how they have extracted the money from the businessmen or from the people who donated to their party fund by buying bonds. So that should be investigated, and that can be investigated, and at anyhow the money should be recovered and should be brought to the treasury of West Bengal, and that money can be spent for the development of our infrastructure, school building and recruitment of teachers and health centers. Okay, number one. Number two, Mr. Abhishek Banerjee, who does not have any bank account, how can he become an owner of 11 or 12 houses or 17 properties? So that should be investigated properly, and if there is any discrepancy between his income and his spending and his property, the entire property should be encroached by the government, and those buildings or those infrastructure, instead of demolishing, should be used for government purposes, for government use. Okay, then I would request our Honorable Finance Minister of West Bengal to see that there are many lawyers in West Bengal, those who do not pay bill to their clients. At the same time, the medical practitioners or the doctors who are taking the visits at the amount of 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, 2000 rupees cash, they are also not giving any receipt to the people. So that money can also be brought under tax. Okay? Okay. You see, next I would say that put only 1 or 2% tax more on the people, on the middle or higher income group, only 1 or 2%. You see, you could earn a lot of revenue, and after implementation of the what is saying, after implementation of the pay commission, you can, this is just suggestion, you can freeze the DA for the employees for 2 years only. Okay, you can save money, and do not give money to any religious institutions or for religious purposes, because our constitution does not allow this. Our constitution does not allow this. So keep money, and there should be minimum expenses in the ministry and in all administrative purposes. Okay, so those are the different things that you will understand this, and how the secretary is saying, and from your personal experience you will do how to earn income. But I will say that what you said about Marshall Plan, I am requesting in favor of you to the Union government, particularly our Honorable Prime Minister and our Finance Minister, to consider about the Marshall Plan, because at this juncture, at this moment in West Bengal needs money, as $13 billion was injected by Truman for the development of Western Europe, because Truman thought that the developed countries have the responsibility to help the other countries. So if there is no assistance in that crisis period, that what had happened after Second World War, that kind of situation has been arising now in West Bengal. West Bengal's economy is not bad. West Bengal's economy is good, 5th or 6th position in India, but it needs injection of money, because a lot of money will drain away to pay the interest of the debt. So I would say that the aid, that Marshall Plan, that aid of Truman was delivered via European Recovery Program. This is more commonly known as the Marshall Plan. Okay, so after General George Marshall, the then US Secretary of State, who was put in charge of it in June 1948. So Marshall was the Foreign Secretary of the General Marshall was the Foreign Secretary of the United States of America at the time in 1948, and Harry Truman was the President of the United States. So they actually made this Truman policy and Marshall Plan, and they rejuvenated Europe. Similar rejuvenation, similar reconstruction of West Bengal is needed by the new finance minister, and I would request the Honorable Prime Minister and Honorable Finance Minister to help West Bengal by either waiving the debt. You may recover the debt with small interest, or waive the range, or waive the debt. Okay. Otherwise, West Bengal will face difficulty to regain its lost glory. And you know that West Bengal's glory means India's glory. West Bengal was once, or Calcutta was the capital of India once, up to 1911. So, to give back its fame, its glory, or its image, Government of India needs injection of money. Not only that, I would also request the Union government, as the Railway Ministry has already given, plan to invest money here. The Commerce Minister, Mr. Tapas Rai, will have to be more vocal and will have to be more dynamic to bring back Tata Motors, to bring back industries, to bring here Sundar Pichai, to bring Google, to bring Facebook, to bring other factories here in West Bengal. Then automatically the revenue will be generated more. I always support the development of West Bengal by not only through agriculture. West Bengal is still an agricultural country, agricultural state, and I need that both agriculture and industry should go hand in hand. Then only holistic development will take place. We have buffer stock in food grains. So, food grain is not a challenge for India. India is self-sufficient. India also feeds other countries. Many countries India feeds. Okay. So, now it is time to rebuild industry, rebuild our and rebuild industries, and along with that, yes, I always think and I always request the government of India and West Bengal that the old factories which have been closed in West Bengal, there is one particular rule, BFIR or what rule is there, whatever rule may be, you take over those old and closed factories and rejuvenate them. You see, the jute industries should be rejuvenated. You see, the electronic industries should be more should be more developed. You know, computer manufacturing industries should be established here. Not only computer manufacturing, helicopter manufacturing, helicopter making, drone making companies, then electronics gadget making, drone servicing centers should be there, and I say shipbuildings should be here, because there is a lot of land in Purbo Medinipur, Haldia and other places. So, and there should be more airports. Then only West Bengal will, and West Bengal's education is being looked after by Mr. Jagannath Babu. I hope that he will follow the National Education Policy 2020 in toto, because discipline is very much important now. Discipline, patriotism, fellow feeling, sympathy, knowledge of constitution, all these things should be taught to our students. And for that purpose, more revenue should be generated, not from agriculture, but from industries. So, both industry, three things, three pillars I would say: industry, economy, industry, economy, education. These are the three ministries which should work together, shoulder to shoulder. Then only West Bengal will once again become the torchbearer of India. The ministry has been arranged good, okay, it's okay, but now it needs to be, it's not time for contemplation, rather it is time for action. All the ministers are very very active, and they should be more active, and they should be more interactive to the people with the global leaders. I will also try with my capacity. I will tell the countries to come here in West Bengal, and you see everything is here, everything is good here. Infrastructure is there, good labor is there, English speaking people are there, technically sound people are here, land is available now very easily, and you will not have to pay any cart money, you will not have to pay any you will not have to pay any donation to the party fund. You come here, environmental certificates and all the certificates you can avail here with an ease, and there will not be problem for setting up industries here in West Bengal. So I request with folded hands to all of you to come to India, come to West Bengal and receive the hospitality of the people, of the Bengali people. And with this, I say, I hope that government of West Bengal's finance minister's request for Marshall Plan will be considered by our Honorable Prime Minister and our Honorable Finance Minister. With this hope and expectation, I would like to close this video here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Namaskar.